What's going on, guys? My name is Eldeniro and welcome to episode 12 of my Leicester City career mode. We start this episode off by confirming the signing of Dwight Gale, the Crystal Palace striker, which I think is a really good signing for us. He's only 71 rated, but he's fast. He played very well against us. And we also find that Scott Sinclair has, we've gotten to the contract negotiation stage with him, but unfortunately the money that we spent on Gale means that we can't actually sign him. But I did adjust the budget just to give him the contract to see if he would accept it, and he did actually accept it, but we had to leave it on the table unless, pending a transfer of another player. But we go into our first game of the episode, which is against Aston Villa, obviously a team I was very successful with in FIFA 14. I had a very, very fun time managing. I had a very, very fun time. Does that make sense? I don't know. Sounds like something Borat would say. But I had a great time managing Aston Villa last season and made a lot of cool signings and stuff like that. And it's like they have a really good team in FIFA 15. They've got the bones of a team who in 5 years time will be one of those teams in the top four. As you can see, they're in 5th place here, but we got some bad news just 17 minutes into the game as Ulloa picked up an injury at the hands of, I think it was Carlos Sanchez, as you see him there going down on his ankle, I think it was, and that's pretty bad, so that's him out. And then the next thing that happened in the game was even worse news as Morgan goes up to clear the ball and he goes down and never comes back up again as Ruiz plays the ball into Sanchez, who finds Bonlor, who gets brought down inside the box by, I think, maybe Anthony Knockaert. I'm not too sure who actually brought him down, but it was a penalty according to the referee. Now, in my opinion, Villa should have kicked the ball out of play. There was a man down injured. We're not fit to defend while there's a player on the floor. But Benteke stepped up to take the penalty for Aston Villa, and I was dreading this moment because I hate going a goal down in this game because it feels as though once that happens, the game is over, essentially. I never really find a way to come back into the game. But Christian Benteke stepped up. He hit his penalty to the left, and Kasper Schmeichel dived the right way, and he keeps it out, and we managed to stay level at this game. Coming up towards half-time with Mackay Stephen picking the ball up from a Cambiasso pass in the 40th minute, and his shot gets parried away by the goalkeeper. But Villa came on the offensive in injury time, which is always 5 minutes at the end of the first half on FIFA 15, and Bonlor's header came very close, but Kasper Schmeichel did keep it at bay with a handy enough save, and Westwood came across to take the corner kick for Aston Villa. He swings it in towards Ruiz, and amazingly the ball finds the back of the net as a collapsing Cambiasso couldn't do enough to keep it off the line, and Villa take the lead, unfortunately for us. I have a question for you guys actually, but it's going to be more difficult to answer, I guess, because it involves typing a lot of things. But how are you guys finding career mode so far? How are you getting on with the game? How have you adjusted to it? I'd say, hypothetically speaking, if at the end of FIFA 14 I was about an 8 or a 9 out of 10 in terms of my ability to play the game, I'm like a 4 or a 5 on this game. I'm having a horrible time. As you see, Aston Villa making it 2-0 thanks to a Benteke goal as he makes amends for his earlier penalty miss, putting it into the near post. That was with 10 minutes to go, and that was what pretty much lost us the game. We were pushing everybody forward and there was nothing we could have done, and Fabian Delph tops it all off with the third goal in the 90th minute, and that was just because of bad defending. And in all honesty, those goals were a result of us pushing up and playing that high sort of attacking pace game that just didn't work for us, in all honesty. And we did find out that after that game, Ulloa is going to miss 4 weeks and Morgan is going to miss 8 days, but I didn't show it on the screen in the name of saving time. So our next game is against Manchester United at Old Trafford, and I was not looking forward to this at all. I figured this would be a really, really difficult game. Look at their team, it's ridiculous. This is their full strength team as well. For us, we've got Dave Nugent up front. Jack Grealish makes his first start in a Leicester City jersey with Knockaert and Schlupp playing, because I felt as though having a super sub would be no good in this game. If we were going to make an imprint on this game, we'd need to do it quickly, and Schlupp quickly bears down on goal in the 2nd minute but sees his shot saved by De Gea as the rain cascades down on the Theatre of Dreams. And in the 5th minute of the game, Manchester United showed what they were capable of as Falcao comes forward. His shot hits off the post and Rooney couldn't get onto it because it was cleared away by the defender just in time. But in the 13th minute, United came forward again. Wayne Rooney on the ball, crossing it to Falcao, whose header goes just wide of Kasper Schmeichel's post. And then we come up to around the 20th minute of the game with Raphael playing on the left hand side of the pitch. He plays it to Angel Di Maria, who finds Raphael on the overlap. Raphael plays a nice ball back into Di Maria, who does the defender really well, plays the ball into Wayne Rooney, and the England striker heads United in front with just 21 minutes on the clock. And as you can see from United, the pressure that they're asserting here, the dominance that they're projecting onto the game, it was just a really, really difficult game to play. We're playing on legendary unnecessary against the complete version of Man United, as Wayne Rooney hits it wide in the 26th minute, and just past the half-hour mark, Raphael appearing again, this time on the right-hand side. He plays it to Herrera, who crosses it into Falcao, whose header goes way over the bar, but pressure nonetheless, and the pressure consisted, like the whole way through the first half, the pressure was there, it remained. They hit the post in the 38th minute from a corner kick, and we did eventually manage to clear our lines, and then we come into the second half with United's pressure continuing. They were just not going to sit back until they got that second goal, and Di Maria on the ball evading the tackle of Grealish and Boyata. He eventually does get the better of the Belgian fullback and crosses it in to Wayne Rooney, whose header just shaved the crossbar. But in the 58th minute, we actually got some space in midfield, and Berahino plays the ball into Jack Grealish, who gets the better of Chris Smalling and manages to finish for an amazing goal, an equaliser completely against the run of play. Like, to say this was a robbery would be the understatement of the century, as Jack Grealish, the Republic of Ireland player, manages to get his first goal in a Leicester jersey in his first start, his full debut essentially, and I was just delighted. I parked the bus, I'm not even ashamed to say it. Like, no pride will be missing from me for saying that I parked the bus. It was against Man United. Mata came close in the 66th minute, but because of the whole parking the bus situation, the remainder of the game was quite boring and highlight free, but I don't care. We got a point at Old Trafford. What more do you want from me? We come out of that game to find that Knockaert is missing for 3 weeks, and now we have a lot of injuries at the club, you know. But some weird things happened. As you see, Scott Sinclair's bid is his contract offer is sitting there on the shelf. We went into deadline day, and I made a pre-contract offer for Fabian Delph, because I figured he's a player who's got a lot of hype behind him in real life at the moment. He's definitely going to be a highly rated player in this game, with highly rated potential even. So he accepted our pre-contract bid, but look what happens here. Now this is really important, right? In the left hand side of the screen it says offered wage 30 grand and or player Andy King, because the game doesn't realise that I've given away Andy King somewhere else, and it thinks that I'm acting on that bid where I offered them 1 million plus Andy King in the previous episode. So I confirmed that bid and the game crashed. And I had this exact problem in FIFA 14 when I was managing AC Milan trying to sign a player from Napoli, I believe it was. But as the clock wound down on transfer deadline day, we were completely running out of options, and we got a miracle transfer offer from Hull City for Jamie Vardy, who's a player I do like, but I'm willing to sacrifice him because we have 17 strikers at the club. So upon receiving that bid, I went and amended the wage budget to 30 grand, and I went into my unsuccessful negotiations to submit a new offer to Scott Sinclair. Remember, there is only 2 hours left on deadline day here. The clock is ticking fast, and this bid needs to be concluded quickly. So as I offer him a contract with 1 hour remaining, that's literally one more option to advance. We offered Delph another contract, but that didn't matter because Vardy accepted the terms from Hull City, and that gave us the money to sign Scott Sinclair, and we had to reject the Delph bid, and that's how deadline day concluded. We got a training injury to Tyler Blackett also, who's going to miss 7 weeks, and the injuries are just crippling this club at the moment. Like, it's really hindering our attempts to even stay in the league. But we also got a job offer from Everton, as you just saw on the screen, and I thought this was amazing. It's the first job offer I've gotten so far, but it's more job offers than I ever got in my 12 seasons in FIFA 14, so that's really interesting. A few of you guys who've commented so far have actually said that you guys are like a few seasons ahead because obviously you get to play it more than I do or whatever, but have you guys had any job offers? Please do let me know, because I want to know if this game is going to be more job offer intensive. Also, as we go into this game against Crystal Palace, keep an eye on the screens for what happens. I did want to say the reason why I didn't make more advances for pre-contract agreements in January is because the wage budget didn't really allow me to sign a player and hold off until the end of the season, because the main target here, the priority, is actually staying in the division. So if I were to sign players on the pretense of staying up, I'm still going to be left without those players until the season ends. So I thought it was just the better option to sign players straight away. And against Crystal Palace here, Luca Ante is on the free kick. He passes it to Gale, the former Crystal Palace player, of course, who's making his, I think this is his debut or his second appearance for us. But the ball comes into Mackay Stephen, whose shot is saved, and Gale is there to header it over the goalkeeper with the chipped header. He runs over. I tried not to celebrate. I actually ended up skipping the replay, but it showed some goal line technology moments here, which is the first time I've ever seen the goal decision system on FIFA 15, and it's actually pretty cool. It was completely unnecessary in this situation because a blind man could have seen the ball cross the line, but it's a nice little feature, I think. You know, it adds to the realism and the immersion of the series itself. But the main thing that happened there was that Dwight Gale scored a goal after Marouane Chamakh. Is that his name? Is his name Marouane? I might have just made that up. But Chamakh missed enough chances to give him a hat-trick like before that. So it was really good that we did get a goal. And this was very similar to our game against Crystal Palace earlier on in the season. Not the one in the FA Cup where they absolutely obliterated us, but the game in the league against them where they were the better team throughout, but we managed to pick up a 2-0 victory. And again, as you see Palace here in the 90th minute asserting their pressure, but the referee blows for full time as the ball falls to one of their players on the edge of the area, and we end the game with a 1-0 victory as the former Palace player scores against his former club on his first start for his new club. And that's just one of those things that happens in football. But that was a very, very boring game, again, just because of the fact that Palace held on to possession for so long. But it's a great 3 points to get. Palace are a team who we would be considered rivals with, in terms of we're both contending for the same type of league position, so it is a really, really good result. But that's the end of this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like. Your support so far has been absolutely immense, and it's incredible to see such an active comment section and so many people who are tweeting me and stuff like that, saying that they really enjoyed the series. Like, I really appreciate that stuff. A positive sort of atmosphere on a channel does really go a long way towards the content itself. So I'll leave you with the full match highlights, and until next time, I've been Jeff Stelling.